We'll end the hour with some hashtags, the best and worst of Twitter. But yesterday, as a matter of fact, and today is the 10-year anniversary of Moyer and Virtue and gold in the ice dance at the Pacific Coliseum. Yesterday, we caught up with Tessa Virtue, one half of the Canadian Golden team. And we started by asking her, when she reflects back on the Vancouver Olympics, where do her thoughts turn?
The first thing that comes to mind is actually the Blue Coats, the volunteers that truly made the experience what it was, I think, for Canadians and people joining us worldwide alike. It was pretty incredible the way the city rallied and hosted in such a classy way, in such an oh-so-Canadian way. I think about the sea of red and white of all the fans rallying behind their athletes and just the energy in the city. I mean, were you both around to feel kind of that buzz and electricity?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we were here.
Yeah. Well, both working it, you bet.
It was unforgettable.
We've talked to a bunch of the athletes already and asked them about the atmosphere around the Athletes Village and highlights of being in the village. And a lot of them, of course, bring up being around the millionaire NHL athletes who are taking part in the hockey. You guys were probably one of the few exceptions to the NHL stars, and just in terms of recognition and rock star status, if you will. You guys had that sort of coming into the Olympics even as well. Did you feel that? Were there people rushing up to you for either autographs or experiences within the village itself?
Oh, that's so funny. I think skating with Scott, it was fun to walk around the village with him, as he pointed out every single hockey player, and he was, their biggest fan. So
sure.
I feel we were on the other side of that as well. But I thought we were really flying under the radar heading into 2010. I mean, we didn't have one sponsor. I think it was 2 weeks before the games that CTV came to us and said, hey, we should probably do a feature on you. So it felt to us, and maybe because we were training in Michigan at the time, we didn't get much of that Canadian broadcast exposure, or even, we weren't seeing the lead up to the games, the lead up to the excitement. It really felt like we were the underdogs, which ended up serving us quite well. But it was overwhelming. I mean, just as you're asking that question, I'm picturing walking around the village, and we didn't know just what to expect heading in. I mean, we tried to do our homework, and we surrounded ourselves with mentors who offered some incredible insight, of course, but I mean, the magnitude and the scale of it all was pretty remarkable. And just the fact that we were right there on the water in those beautiful condos, I think that set a precedent that Sochi made it tough to follow up with Sochi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, if you didn't have the media and broadcast attention going into the games, you certainly did coming out of them, Tessa. How did 2010 and that gold medal, that skate, how did it change your life?
Truthfully, I'm not sure it did change our lives in any way, in that we were still surrounded by all the people we were before. And if anything, it just gave us a hunger for more. And I often say that in 2010, for some reason, we just found our flow on the ice. Things fell into place. And maybe it was that innocence, that naivete that comes with the first Olympic Games, or being 20 and 22. But I really found we were completely in the zone, and to be honest, we spent 8 years chasing that feeling. So if anything, it just gave us a taste of what competing on that stage could feel like, and what chasing a gold medal would feel like, and that fueled us for some years to come.
You changed our lives, though, Tessa. Just so you know, because I mean, I'm sure you felt this. You became everybody's son and daughter, everybody's brother and sister. I mean, I think everybody just felt like they knew you post-career, not necessarily after the Olympics, although maybe, but certainly at the end of your Olympic careers, we sort of felt that. Did you feel that yourselves?
Definitely. I think it really did feel like we were in the hearts and homes of Canadians, and that's just a testament to the kind of support we've received throughout our entire career. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the Olympic movement. I mean, there are always new stories, new up-and-coming athletes, and some returning vets. And there's something about that cycle every 2 years that we get to feel connected to the people that are wearing that maple leaf and representing our country so proudly. So we definitely did. And I think, that was put on display when we returned home from Sochi and felt like, we had disappointed the country, or that it was somehow a failure with the silvers. The warmth in which we were welcomed home, and that outpouring of love and support was really heartwarming. And I think heading into 2018, then that served as such a boost. We realized that people really were in our corners and just wanted us to have a fulfilling Olympic moment.
Between some rule tweaks and just the way that you guys skated, ice dance got cool, didn't it? I mean, I don't know that you would have got half the country or more, the full country, watching you guys as we did for the last decade, if it wasn't for the way that you guys danced, and again, just some rule tweaks that allowed it to be a little bit more of an exciting and just showed off the athleticism more. But, did you think that was the case? Did you see that part of figure skating? Because it felt like singles and to a degree doubles or pairs got a lot of the attention in this country prior to this, and you guys made ice dance the focal point for Canadians.
Well, thank you. What a compliment. I think you're right about some of the rule changes, and we're pretty lucky as Canadians that skating is in our DNA. I mean, it's so much a part of our culture, just ice sports in general. So the fact that we're also between quadrennials able to showcase competitions and perform nationally and internationally, I think that kind of made its mark and allowed us to connect with the audiences a little bit more. And then also just the broadcasters. I mean, thanks to you guys, you help share those stories too, which allow people to get sort of an insight into behind the scenes, and that's invaluable.
We're with Tessa Virtue, Olympic champion, and of course, one of the gold medalists, 2010 Vancouver Whistler. Tessa, I know the team figure skating event didn't start till Sochi, but of course, we were all Team Canada, the athletes, and certainly at the figure skating venue. It wasn't all smiles. Joanie Rochette lost her mom just days before she skated. I'd like to know how that affected everybody involved with the Canadian figure skating community, and specifically the athletes who were down there at the rink.
Yeah, I mean, nothing puts things into perspective just quite like that, the loss of a loved one. And I was actually roommates with Joanie at the time and was there when she found out. And I remember kind of watching it all unfold as if it was in slow motion. And then I went to the rink to practice. We competed our original dance that day. And my mom was in the stands. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, Joe won't ever get this experience again. And not that it was about me at all, but I think in general we all just tried to rally and show our support. But I mean, what do you do, right? It's about so much more than the Olympics. It's about so much more than putting on a sequin costume and figure skating. And yet, what she did was just the ultimate showing of bravery. And what courage it would have taken her to step on the ice and find that composure and perform and ultimately end up with a bronze medal. I mean, I think that had to be the moment of the games for so many of us. I think there wouldn't have been a dry eye in the country that night.
You retired last fall. How is life as an ex-figure skater? Do you miss it at all?
I'm not golfing quite as much as I thought I would be. But no, it's been great. I think, this is pretty normal schedule-wise for us. We wouldn't pick up another tour again until a month or two from now. So it feels sort of business as usual, but it was a really nice way to end things, to go across the country and thank everyone who had supported us and to do it in our own way. It just felt like the right time. We've ticked all the boxes in the skating world, or at least the ones that we felt we needed to. And it was really special to pick a program that we'd always wanted to skate and step off the ice in St. John's, Newfoundland, knowing that, we had done everything we wanted to in the sport. And on good terms, too, I think, feeling still passionate and in love with a sport that served us so well for so many years.
How often do you get the question that I'm about to ask about skating to the Tragically Hip? Because that became a viral sensation, I think, for those that didn't see it live. Goosebumps every time I see it.
Oh, thank you. That to this day will be one of our favorite performances. And the hip played such a large role particularly in Scott's upbringing. I think it was sort of the soundtrack to his youth and all the way through. So when Gord died, we knew that we wanted to do something in our own way of paying tribute to him and the impact he'd had on so many Canadians. And thanks for saying that. Yeah, it's a performance that is close to our hearts, that's for sure.
Lastly, Tessa, we tried to get Scott to join you here on the program. I believe his management team told us he was busy double fisting beers at a hockey rink while yelling at referees. But how is he doing, and how often do you two keep up here?
He's great. I think it's natural for us to both pursue different paths as we had different interests outside of the sport, and it's been fun to sort of watch him flourish and navigate this transition. We're looking forward to reconnecting at the World Championships in Montreal just next month in March, and I can't wait to catch up. And it'll just be like old times. We might even step our skates on. We'll have to see.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be fun and appropriate.
Not to compete. I should clarify that.
Yes, absolutely.
Just to skate. Tessa, this has been wonderful. Thank you for the time. Congratulations yet again, and appreciate you joining us here.
Thanks, Tessa.
Thanks so much.